What's up, Watchers? Will here, and today we review the Gotham episode The Fear Reaper from Gotham Season 4. To spoiler recap our episode, we start with seeing Gordon Bullock on the trails of the Scarecrow as he makes his way back to the asylum to try and create his own Fear army. Penguin wants to convince the public that his method works, so he strikes a deal with Gordon to catch Crane within 24 hours or else. Selina and Tabitha follow an invitation to discover, gasp, Barbara is still alive and kicking, who wants to team up with them with her secret gun arsenal to help them make it back to the top of crime. Meanwhile, back at the GCPD, Jim tries to convince his fellow officers to fight against the Penguin, but they all, including Harvey, ask a fair question. What can they really do to stop crime in Gotham? So, Jim Gordon decides to lone wolf his pursuit of the Scarecrow, infiltrating the facility. Scarecrow recognizes him and tries to sick his Fear army on him, but understandably, they run away because Jim has bullets and they don't. Penguin, Zaz, and Ivy have a meeting with Barb to discuss the possibility of her joining the citywide crime union. She has a tone about her that implies she's kind of up to something, not revealing who she wants to work with and where she got all the money from for the guns that she has, all of which the Penguin is not very thrilled about. Meanwhile, Gordon is face to face with Crane, who shows his new, true colors, and revealing that with his new persona comes a new change of mind, believing that his father was a pioneer and not a murderous madman like Jim believes. In a very disturbing scene, we see Jim's greatest fear is not just losing Lee, but losing her to himself and his actions. Through his own willpower, though, he talks himself out the gas and overcomes his fear to go back and face Jonathan. Here, we see the man who embraces his demons against the man who conquers it, eventually culminating in Gordon taking on the inmates and realizing water can actually avert the effects of the gas. Catching up with the evolution of the Dark Gimp, we see him get caught by those thieves from the last episode who turn out to somehow not recognize Bruce Wayne and almost kill him if not for our boy, Alfred. Lucius Fox stops by to give Bruce some new quote-unquote rock climbing equipment, aka some new armor. The episode ends with Selina and Tabitha deciding to work with Barbara again. Ivy begins to mutate from some chemicals that she stole. Jim decides to try and recruit Falcone to have an army against the Penguin, and we finish with the beginning of the amazing adventures of that proto-Batsuit we see in all the promotional material, the mask and all. So, I think this episode was a lot better than the season opener, as it seemed to bring in more plot lines that will intertwine throughout the season. The acting still comes across solid, but I think due to the nature of what's happening, the performance from Barbara's actress seems a little bit stiff, but I'm sure it's plot related. The interpretation of Scarecrow doesn't really have a voice modifier, but I think it works here because you see what he is trying to do as Scarecrow, but you also kind of see the scared man, Jonathan Crane, who ended up succumbing to his own fears. If I have any criticisms, it's that some of the lines are a little hokey. The thieves that show up have these really kind of silly accents, and it is weird that they don't recognize Bruce Wayne immediately, but I guess maybe he hasn't fully had a public persona yet. Also, despite Bruce coming into his own as a hero, which I think is fine, the suit, I'm sorry, just still looks very silly. I laughed when I saw him run across the rooftops with it and put that helmet on for the first time. But hey, Batman doesn't happen overnight, so we'll see how it goes. Also, I will issue a warning to the squeamish or those that may have triggers related to self-harm or suicide, as that scene with Lee is actually rather graphic in its depiction, so if it's not for you, just skip past it. Overall, if I had to rate it, I'd give it an 8 out of 10. A lot stronger than the first episode, as my problems are mostly minor and nothing that seems to really concern the plot or the writing overall. So, let me know what you thought of the episode down in the comments below, and if you want more content like this, check out the rest of our YouTube channel, as well as our site, hybridnetworkyt.com, for more regular videos and articles. I'm Will, and I'll see you next week.